Hi, my name is Mr. Madsen, and I'm going to be teaching your biology class this year. I wanted to take a couple of minutes just to introduce the course. Now, this video is not about the syllabus. You're going to still need to read the syllabus. What it really is about why biology? Why are we even taking this course? What value might come of it? And I think it's really good to take a second whenever you're taking a class and really ask that question. Why is this? Why is this relevant? It's really easy, I think, when you're thinking on a very simplistic level, to think, oh, this has nothing to do with me and I'll never use this. Okay, and in fact, I've heard that a lot. But to be honest with you, I can't even think of a class that I took in high school that I haven't used the information I need or I learned from that class. There's probably one or two in college that might be that way. But when it comes to my high school classes, especially core classes like math and English, even my history classes, and especially my science classes, those topics come up over and over and over again, whether or not you're pursuing a career in that field. So I want to go over with our biology course and talk about some of those things. And I always think it's good to think in our minds. It's like, okay, well, what if I didn't need this class to graduate? What if the grade didn't matter? All of these different things? Would it still matter? Would it still have some value? I think with biology, I think you'll see that absolutely there are many things that are going to be valuable to learn, regardless of what you're going into. And so I want to talk about that as we go through this today. All right, so first of all, in biology, one of the things that we're going to talk a good amount about, especially in the first couple of weeks, is cells. And when it comes to cells, you might think, well, what does it matter? Cells are tiny little things. I can't even see them, with my naked eye, as they call it. I have to use a microscope, and they don't have anything to do with me. But the reality is that the processes that go on in cells make all the difference when it comes to our health, when it comes to our food, when it comes to our environment. And that's why when it comes to biology, that's where we start. When we understand the cell, we can understand things like why we get a disease that we might get. We can understand why one person is able to run faster than somebody else. Their training, what has it done when it comes to their cells? We can understand a lot about how the brain works. We can understand a lot about why we need certain conditions to stay alive. These are just a few of the things that cells are going to affect. And it's one of those concepts in biology that we learn is that very small things can make a very big difference. And cells are one of those small things that make a very big difference. So we'll talk just a bit about some of those things that, some of those ways that cells make a difference and some of those things that you might be interested in that biology is going to help you understand better and potentially help you improve in. Now, one of those things is athletics and fitness and health. Of course, there's a person running here, and the way that our cells work really has a humongous influence on how well we can run, because it influences how the body can produce or can use the energy that we take in. And also, the better fitness we get in, the more efficiently our body can take in oxygen, which is required for breaking down that food so that our body has energy to run. And so if you have that interest in health and in athletics, you're going to find in biology that you'll learn a lot that you can use in order to improve as an athlete. And of course, some of that will be your own study, but at least the basic concepts about why we get in shape, why we learn a skill, why our muscles build, a lot of that will come out as you study biology. Now, DNA is another area that I think is pretty interesting in biology, and that's what this is kind of a picture of. It is DNA, just a stylized picture. I'm not saying it actually looks, exactly like this, but it does look similar to this. And DNA is something that we didn't know much about 60 years ago, but since then we've learned more and more about it. But it becomes very fascinating because DNA holds the code for how to build a human being. Or if it's DNA in another organism, it's how to build a dog or an ear of corn or a plant of corn or whatever that might be. That's all of that information is contained in the DNA. And for the first time, we're actually able to read that information to a certain degree. At least we know what the letters are. We don't always know what the letters mean. In some cases, we have been able to tell what they mean and how they affect the characteristics of a person. Like, are they going to have brown eyes or blue eyes? You know, some of these things, a few of these things, we've been able to discover how that code determines that characteristics. And that also can have to do with certain lifelong illnesses that might be caused by a code in the DNA. And so the cool thing about learning about DNA is it's something that you're going to be learning a ton about in the future. So whether or not you study science or anything else, DNA is going to become a bigger and bigger topic in the next 20 to 30 years. So as you get into your careers and your life, that's something that will come up a lot. And so as you understand it, it's going to help you to be able to make good decisions with regard to DNA and understanding what that means to us, and potentially even how we can use DNA to improve our own lives and the lives of those around us. Another thing that DNA is related to is obviously plants and the food that we eat. And so as we understand DNA better, we're better able to feed the world. And this is actually something that sometimes you may not realize, is that, I mean, we have, I think most people know how many people we have. We have like 8 billion people on the earth. And as we understand DNA better, we've been able to modify plants in some cases so that they grow better in areas that are that experience a lot of droughts, that experience extremes in temperature, that might not have as much soil. And so DNA, that understanding of it, has been able to help us in being able to feed the large population that we have on Earth. The brain is another area that, as we study biology, we get to learn more about. And a lot of students have an interest in psychology and have an interest in how the brain works. And so we'll get a little bit into this about the way they're actually, and this is, I thought this was funny when I heard this, they're actually electrical signals that are carried through cells in our bodies that communicate to the brain. So if we touch something hot or we poke our finger, an electrical signal is sent up through our arm, through these cells called neurons, up to our brain, and then we are able to make a decision on how to respond to that. And that all comes, and then another electrical impulse is sent out. Maybe the arm gets pulled away or whatever might happen. And so learning about the brain is a fun part of biology and something that can be really interesting, especially for people who like to think. Right. Another thing is defenses that our body has against illnesses, especially as we've had this COVID-19 pandemic. Understanding how the body's defenses work has become more and more relevant to us. So we'll learn a bit about that, about things like vaccines. How do those work, and why can they be valuable? So we'll explore some of those topics as well. Here's another interesting topic. This young lady apparently lost her forearm in, I don't know how that happened, but you can see though that she has kind of an artificial, or sometimes they'll say a robotic arm. And so the people who do this type of stuff, this is a field called bioengineering, and they essentially, in some cases, they can actually attach this to the neurons, and so she can actually use her thinking, in a sense, to be able to then control that hand. And so that's, to me, that's just blows me away that that's even possible. But that's something that is getting to be better and better. And so bioengineering is an area that can be pretty interesting. One other area that this is kind of unrelated to the picture, but one other area that a lot of students have expressed an interest in, I think partially because a lot of TV shows, but would be like crime scene investigation or forensic science. That's an area where biology can be very important, because we have something called DNA fingerprinting, where we take DNA found at a scene and match it with potential suspects. So biology becomes quite important to an area like that. There's other ways, obviously, that it's important as well. Medicine is a big area where people interested in careers in medicine, it can be quite important. And that's not just becoming a doctor. You might say, hey, I'm not interested in becoming a doctor. The reality is there are tons and tons of careers related to related to healthcare. And some of those, if you're a doctor, yeah, you're going to be going to school for about 11 years after high school. Doesn't mean you're sitting in a classroom that whole time, by the way, but that'd be about the amount of time until you become a sort of full-fledged doctor. But there's also careers that, of course, nursing is about 4 years to become a nurse. Sometimes it's a little bit less. There's also being a physical therapist. There is being things like a medical assistant, and some of these careers, might only be 3 months to be able to become certificated, like 3 to 6 months to get a certificate to be able to work in that area. So when it comes to medicine, there's a whole bunch of areas, and that's one of those fields that's expected to really expand over the next 20 to 30 years. So for sure, as you're looking at careers, the healthcare areas are worth considering. And another area, of course, a lot of students have an interest in is veterinary medicine, where you're going to use a lot of biology. And I will say, when it comes to healthcare, not really veterinary medicine necessarily, but I guess you could say it's like that because it could be your pet. Maybe you're not actually pursuing a career in this, but maybe what you're trying to do is interpret what the doctor has told you. And one cool thing with the internet is that we can find a heck of a lot of information. But without some basic understanding of biology, we might not be able to really interpret what that information is saying. And so by having a decent idea about how our cells work, how our breathing works, how our nutrition works, all of that type of stuff, then when a doctor tells you, hey, you might have this issue, or somebody you care about has this issue, you can start to research that on your own. And I really believe that as you become more and more educated in it, it can really be beneficial into where you can take care of yourself. You can ask the doctor questions, and sometimes asking those questions can actually help that doctor, because the fact is you take more interest in yourself sometimes even than the doctor does, and so it's worthwhile to be able to research those types of things on your own. These are just touching on a few other areas. This is kind of implying something about artificial intelligence, which is a really expanding area, especially in technology. But it really gets down to understanding the way humans think in order to then build machines essentially that can do many things. And a lot of us have a simple version of that if you have Alexa in your house or something along those lines. A couple other things here. This is something we talked about: agriculture, about the way that our understanding of biology has helped us feed people on Earth, the 8 billion people we have. And they even are doing some unique things to where they are now making meats that look a heck of a lot like meat. Some of you might have had one of these, like the Impossible Burger or something like that. I know when I've had one, it was like I hardly would know the difference. If you gave me a few burgers, I may not be able to identify which one was actual meat and which one was, completely vegetable based. And so that's pretty exciting for somebody, especially if somebody is, interested in or concerned about killing animals, or if you're also concerned about one thing about raising animals is they do tend to have a pretty big impact on the environment. And so some people are interested in these types of alternatives to meat as a way of protecting the environment. A couple other things. This actually gets us into some of the potentially ethical issues around biology. And these will be big questions that you'll have an opportunity to answer. And ethics is extremely important in biology. These two sheep are clones of one another. And cloning among animals has actually become pretty common now. So that obviously, when it comes to animals, I don't think people get too concerned. But we can all think of scenarios where cloning would be something quite concerning. And so ethics is critically important to biology. And it's critically important that you consider your values and you consider what our society should pursue, and make sure that those questions are included in any study of science. And this is a movie that we'll watch later on that really explores those ethical issues. And so we'll look forward to exploring that. So other than that, I just want to welcome you and just tell you that I look forward to seeing you in class. And I'm excited about this process, and I look forward to your questions. and I think it'll be an exciting journey. Thank you.